Hello everyone, this is Plankera, and welcome to my universe. So, last time I fixed a lot of the issues I was having with the picture. It's kind of getting to the point where I mostly like looking at it now, so that's always a big plus. It takes me a little while to get there, but once I do get there, I generally have an easy time. Or, an easier time, I should say. So I just wanted to fix up a couple of the things that I was seeing. Finding my buttons here we go. Alright. So, when I was drawing this before, I had this front arm and the back arm kind of in a straight line, and I liked that. And now that her arm is going more downward, I realized that I wanted this arm to go more upward. So that this way they're still kind of in a straight line. And I will adjust her collar to compensate for that. But otherwise, I'm still just gonna leave this area kinda messy. It's fine. We'll see about getting the hand back in there. But mostly what I wanted to work on today was her hair a little bit more. Because I was realizing I've had this habit for a long time, because when I got started with art, I did not really draw anime. I drew a lot more realistic stuff. I enjoyed kind of a semi-realism where the facial features were maybe a little bit exaggerated. I liked drawing big eyes. I still do. But otherwise, things were, relatively realistic. And I think that kind of creeps into how I think about things sometimes, and I think it's especially noticeable in the hair here. Because one thing that I was noticing was like, man, something about the side of her face still just seems really off. But I think what I can do is actually fix quite a lot of that via just... how to say it? Just having the hair blow in a more attractive manner. I legitimately think that will fix a great deal of the problems that I am having right now. And like I said, I'm not going to worry about the clipping. All of this will be, like you can see a little bit of hair sticking out there. That kind of thing will be solved once I fix all the shapes and stuff. It's just not there yet. And anyway, with the arm here, I think this pose is like 10 times cuter. So, I am satisfied. Now, the next thing I want to touch before I go and try to set her hair free was, I feel like this blue that I picked for all of this is a little bit too bright, a little bit too saturated. So I just wanted to tone it back a little bit. Hey, maybe like there. You can't see my color picker, but don't worry about it. Oh, it's actually pretty close to the color I picked for the other dark. Okay, in that case, let's see, do I bring it more toward purple or a little bit more toward cyan? Let's do some science. Because I could either make it very purple, which does kind of have its own particular characteristics, or I could bring it a little bit more up toward here. Both of these are a little unnatural, but that's kind of exactly what I'm going for. It sounds a bit strange to say, but my favorite color is purple, so I think I'm gonna go with the purple. Gonna make it a little darker. Yeah. Gotta do that. But, don't worry about me talking about things being a little unnatural and that being on purpose. That will all make sense once I really get into the final bits of making all this look nice. For now, let me just get some colors in. I will end up picking a lot of different colors later. Don't worry about it. I just couldn't leave that blue there. It was bothering me too much. I really didn't like it. And sometimes those things happen. And I just I have to put something else down, otherwise it'll be staring at me in the face and I cannot focus on anything else. I'll just, every time I zoom out, I'm gonna be like, man, I hate that blue. And I cannot work in these conditions. Okay. There we go. That's better. Okay, so what was I saying before? Something about how when I got started, I was very much into semi-realism, and thus I still have a realistic mindset sometimes. But this is anime, and this is like super anime. I mean, I think her eyes are a little bit too big right now, but not by much. So, I can go just full anime here, and it's fine. So that's what I would like to do. And one of the nice things about hair in anime that I just never utilize properly is that you can put the hair anywhere and have it flow in any way, and it works. I looked up a bunch of references. Stylistic references in this case, as opposed to like proportion and anatomy references. I do that a lot too, just see what other people did for inspiration. And oh man, you can do so many things that make just 0 sense, and it looks fantastic. And so I would like to embrace that mindset more. Of just, you know what, it's fine if it doesn't make sense. As long as it looks good, it's perfect. As long as it looks good, it is perfect. So, I'm going to try to embrace that today, and I'm going to set the hair free. The hair will just be... it's gonna be great. I am gonna let it blow around and go wherever its whimsy takes it. As opposed to locking it in a way where everything just must make sense. First, I'm just kind of adjusting some proportional issues that I thought were kind of bad. So, not exciting, but necessary, so gotta do that first. There were some spots on the back of the hat that just were not quite working for me. So, there we go. It was like I was trying to have the point where the parts kind of around the frill here, where the frills connect, being kind of elasticy, and still having it flop, and it wasn't playing nice together, that's all. And so I have decided to embrace the hat being a little bit tighter and more stuck to her head than the immaterial and missing power where it's just kind of flopping there. I blame all the cosplayers doing it this way, and thus I have a better understanding of how it looks. Okay, that should be fine. So yeah, when I look at the face here, I think this is pretty cute. Yeah, I think it's pretty cute. And then I put the hair on, and I'm just like, nothing makes sense anymore. So that is why I want to try to figure out what I can do to make this kind of thing better. And there's two things I want to do. First, the hair on this side. We're gonna make it... Okay, I don't know what words to use to describe it, but we're gonna make it defy gravity. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get rid of all of this. I'll let her keep the little bang in front there, that's fine. And then all of this, it's gonna defy gravity. And then on this side, what I want to do is I want to put a layer above the hat. I guess I'll call it more... Nope, not on the right keys, there we go. More hair. And I'm gonna make it go has some strands that fly above her hat. See, that looks terrible, but I think the idea is wonderful. What I think is actually gonna happen is more like, let me use my dark color so it looks like we're kind of seeing the underneath. So we're gonna like see the underneath of the strand here, and it's gonna come up, I don't know, kind of like that. And like I said, this nonsense right now, but that is what I plan on doing. I do want to start with the hair on the side of her jaw, though, because I think that if I can get this looking good, I will be one step closer to figuring out how to have free hair. And how to have hair that flutters beautifully in the wind, instead of the stiffer, more realistic stuff that I've been going for. I need to free my mind from the bounds of reality. Reality's been kind of bothering me lately, so you know what? This sounds like a wonderful exercise. Okay, what does her hair look like again? Just kind of wavy. I can probably draw pretty much whatever I want and it'll look like her. It's kind of funny how much longer her hair is in the fighting games. Alright. Now let me look at a couple of the other references that I picked up, just so I could get a good idea of what I wanted to do here. So anyway, when I looked at what her hair looked like, it tended to have thicker clumps. So I should probably get a bigger brush. You'll notice that I tend to use brushes that are probably like 3 or 4 times the size that I'm actually drawing with. And that's because it lets me do cool things like... what's a good spot to demonstrate? Let's do it right here. So I can have a thin line and then it can get really thick. And once I learned how to control that, it gave... it let me make things much more dynamic. Very important for the way I draw things. Like... Man, my headphone cord just keeps getting in the way. Give me a moment to fix that, and then I will keep talking. My kids slid my speakers back, and that is where my headphones are plugged in. So the cord was being pulled much tighter than it should be. But anyway, when people use lines, the variation in how thick they want their lines to be is a lot smaller than the variation that I want my things to be. Because I'm not drawing around things. Like, if you had a line variation that went from here to here, it'd probably look weird. But when I have hair that gets thin down here and thick up here, this makes sense. And since I'm drawing the entire thing and not just a line around it, it makes more sense for it to be able to go very thick and very thin. And that is just how I roll, so... I don't know, how do I want to do this? How do you defy gravity, hair? Don't worry, I believe in you. I believe in both of us. We'll figure it out. We will figure it out. I'm just working with the picture here. I'm trusting it to give me a direction. You know, I should probably be working on a few layers while I do this, since I have no idea what I'm doing. It's fine. I'll make it work. I always do. But yeah, I already think this looks better. I just kinda had to bring it out more. And is this wavy enough to be called Yuyuko's hair? I think I want to add a little bit more wave just right here. I will carve it out of that. I don't know, that looks bad. Let's put it back. It looks better here. You know what, this is fine. And then at some point I'll probably have some... She has like some shorter hairs. Coming... You know what, I'll make it this one. This one can be one of the shorter hairs. And it does something like this. Where it's kinda... covered up. Yeah, I think something like that'll work. I just need to actually draw the rest. This'll make more sense once I clean it up. But I think this is fine for now. It looks so much better. Her head is no longer weirding me out. I think her chin is still too big, though. But it's no longer kind of weirding me out, so I think that is a very, very good sign. Side of her head just looks so much better now. So yes, be free, hair. Be free. Do not let my semi-realistic past hold you back. We're in full anime territory now. I kinda want to tilt her head back just a little bit more. Oh yeah, she looks like she's having a great time. Try to connect it with her neck there. I'm not quite sure if this is correct. At some point, I will have to find the right shape of her neck. I think this is okay for now, though. And... yeah, I was thinking about working on some stuff around her chest that I wasn't a big fan of, but nope, I want to finish setting her hair free. And to do that, I need to figure out what I want to do to make it kind of swing over the hat. Oh. And then Krita decided it was a good idea to teleport me down to my bottom layer for some reason. I don't know why it keeps doing that. It keeps happening. I swear, I complain about it like every episode now. Do I want her hair to go above her arm, too? Let's find out. Yes, I do. We will let it be so freaking free. It's gonna go wherever it wants. And nothing is gonna hold it back anymore. This is where sometimes you just need a second layer. But it has to be at the right spot. And I will just try to let it flutter. Flutter as it pleases. Right now I'll use the dark color. I will probably change it to a different color later. It doesn't really matter. Holy cow, that just made a massive difference, though. Let me put in some lights. Let me see, is there spots where I want it to be, like, underneath? So maybe something like this. Let me lock this layer just so I don't color outside the lines here. And I can freely experiment with my lights here. Or I kind of want this to look like the underside of the strand. I don't know what I'm doing here, but I'm gonna try something and see if I can make it work the way I want it to. We're gonna let it twist. That's kind of what I'm trying to do here. I think that's about right. And then here, how do you twist? Maybe like this. Let me make you wave a little bit more too. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. That's some pretty free hair. I don't like what I just did, though. I keep trying to make it a little wavier, and it just is not working out. Okay, but I do want to do something with that strand, but I suppose this is fine for now. And then we just add a couple more little loose ones out here. Okay, and I think that'll look pretty good once I actually kind of connect it to the rest of the hair and start rendering and smoothing everything out. And we'll just let this connect back here. There we go. Yep, that is like 100 times better. Not realistic at all. But so much better. Okay, do I have a layer for her back hair yet? I don't. Because I probably want this hair going back behind her body. So I will put that there. Hair back. And we'll just add a little bit of movement back here. There we go. And then the kind of veil thing. It's like barely gonna be visible, but that's okay. We'll put it there anyway. Okay. I have a couple of adjustments I want to make to the hat, but otherwise, you know what? I am happy with this. Her face no longer looks weird to me. So, I am very pleased. I was pretty sure it was just a hair movement problem and not something with her face this time, because I was pretty sure that I had that face just exactly where it needed to be. I just want this to flutter a little bit. Alright, let me check the mirror here. Had a layer that I did not name, and that's generally not a good thing. Take the time to name your layers, kids. Trust me, your future self will thank you. It'll make your life a lot easier. Okay. Yeah, now I think her face is looking pretty cute. It's gonna be great once I actually go in and kind of finalize everything. So I think I can be happy with that. So let's go fix those things on the chest that were kind of bothering me that I vaguely mentioned. Honestly gonna be pretty easy, because it's not that big a deal, which is why I decided to do it later. And I'm gonna change the color so that it's easy to see. I just kind of want it to follow the curve in her chest a little bit better than it was. Let me also check where it actually connects on her chest there, because I think it actually connects in the middle and not off on the side here that I currently have it. Where the middle... Man, pictures are a little small, so I'm having to really look in there. Okay, but I think I have an idea of how this is actually working. So, first, I am going to fix the collar of her dress here. Hang on to that black for now. Because it does something kind of like that. And then, from what I see, it kind of connects on the side there, on one side. And we'll follow the shape of her chest. Kind of like this. It's not super thick, but it certainly has a presence. There. Okay, now when I switch that back, that should look better. And indeed, I think it does. And then just more shenanigans around the armpit that I'm not entirely happy with. Look. It's pretty normal for this part in particular to give me trouble and for me to just tweak it for all eternity. So I kind of had to figure out where her back is, and well, I've already told you guys. Perspective, proportions. My brain does not understand. I just kind of make it work. And that, and finding a way to truly understand it, and just not kind of be able to fake it till I make it. I think that is going to be the next big step in my personal artistic growth. So that's kind of been what I've been working on. Because if I want to make my goal of being able to draw faster, then that is something I definitely got to figure out. Okay, now what is causing this little piece of dirt right there? The way that I tend to hunt those down is I hide and show certain layer groups. Okay, it was a bit of hair. So I just show and hide certain layer groups until I'm eventually able to find the layer that it is on. And in this case, it was a bit of hair. Alright, let's go. I do not think that this layer has any relevance anymore, so we'll go get rid of that. Go turn on all the ribbons. And at this point, I think I'm pretty close to being able to start rendering things. I think her ribbon is still just a little bit low. I keep wanting to put it on her waist instead of closer to her bust. So yeah, I think I'm pretty close to being able to start rendering things out. So let's see, the things I need to figure out. Like, I think all this is looking okay. I am not sure on the colors yet. But to be fair, I wanted to... words. I wanted to draw this picture specifically to experiment with this style. So, I was not expecting the colors to be right immediately. I was expecting to have to spend a bunch of time messing with that and experimenting with it. So that means that the things that aren't drawn at least in a relatively workable manner right now, would be her hands, this entire back arm, yeah, both hands, the fan, and the border. And then I still need to draw like the little frilly bits on her elbows. So let me... Do I want to start adding some of the details now? Like, I also haven't drawn the pattern on the kimono here or anything like that. This has all just been kind of the basics. I think she's pretty recognizable as herself even without a lot of those details, which just goes to show how easy it is to actually make characters recognizable. I think I'll probably save a lot of those details for closer to the end. And I mean, you notice that, like, there's no frills on this yet or around here. I haven't drawn the little dark blue ribbon going through this and the little point where it ties in the middle there or anything like that. But I do think I need to start getting some of these bigger picture things like the border and her fan more correct before I do too much rendering. I might cheat and do the face before I get all of this. Because once I'm happy with it, I'm just like, you know, I can do the face. The face is important. But anyway, let's get her back arm going here. So, let's see, on her sleeve, it's a little puffy around the shoulder, but that's going to be covered up. So that would be around here. And then she has a puffy sleeve, and it's going to like hit the top here. And then open up like this, I think. Where's her elbow? Because that's where I need to put the ribbon. I'm going to use a dark color. So where is her elbow here? Everything is super foreshortened. So I could probably put it about wherever I want and it would seem legit. So I'll put it right there. That seems like a perfect spot for an elbow. I don't think I really need to make the trim a separate layer here, so I'm just gonna add it to this. We'll see if I regret my life choices with that, but it does mean that I can't easily shade it, but I'm pretty sure the entire thing is just going to be in whatever shadow shape I decide I want it to be. And I think I want that to, like, fan out this way even more. And then I don't think you see very much of this hand. You might just see, like, a couple of fingers. I should have a vague understanding of where her hand is, though. So let's go ahead and... I'll go ahead and draw an arm. It's gonna, like, curl out like this. And then... it's gonna connect to her shoulder, and it's gonna... just be supremely round here. Find where that kind of stub is. The reason it's going to be supremely round here is just because it's an extreme angle, and that makes the point where it's going to connect to the hand just supremely round. And then the base of her hand is probably going to be like her wrist. It's probably actually like right here. So I can draw the hand, the palm sticking out like this, with the finger coming out here. Won't be that big. Thumb over here. And then the rest of her fingers kind of doing something like that. It's messy, but I think this is about right. Or it's mostly covered by her sleeve. Okay, do I feel like doing the other hand right now? Short answer is no, so I think I'm gonna go look at the border around all of this now. You know what? And I think even before I do that, I'm gonna take one last look at this background color because I still don't know if I like this. I'm just gonna look at like all the colors. I tend to like it the blue and purple range the best. I don't know, maybe I will like it pink. Just, I don't know, when it starts getting really pastel like this, I feel like she just blends into it too much. So, I've been liking it darker, but something about the darkness of it feels wrong. I don't understand. This is probably where bolstering my color theory would help me out a bit. So, I will do what I do best and continue to flail. It's okay, as long as I don't give up, I will find the answer. I will find it. It can't hide from me forever. It can't. Eventually, I will run out of colors to try. Yeah, because too gray, it just starts to look like mud. And I don't like it, so let's bump up the saturation as much as I can. Okay, I think I'm starting to kind of like that. Maybe. We'll see if I change my mind tomorrow. But I kind of like this. I kind of like where this is going. And you know, maybe what I actually need is just a gradient. Okay, I'm just gonna pay attention to the top half here. I'm gonna find a color that I like for the top half. And I'm not gonna worry about the bottom half for now. I think I still like it a little bit toward purple. Okay, so I'm gonna take this color. And I'm gonna go back to the dark that I had before, and I'm gonna take my big soft brush and just kind of paint over with this light color at the top. And I'll see how that is. Let me get my dark color on my brush here. Because maybe what I actually want to do is something like this. There have been times where gradients have saved the day for me, so I tend to prefer to just kind of brush in my gradients as opposed to using a gradient tool. Especially when I don't know what shape I want them to be yet. And I'm just kind of trying things. Okay, that's a little better. Yeah, that's a little better. let it have some of that kind of darker color without it feeling so heavy. And then maybe even at the top, if I go a little bit more toward yellow and just put a little bit of sunniness up there. Okay, I'll try this. We'll see how I feel about it tomorrow. Now then, I want to pick a branch color, because I don't like this one. Let's make it a little darker. Maybe a lot darker. I just don't want it to look super cold, since I am using pastels for all of this. But I do feel like that color was a little bit too bright. And I don't mind if it kind of blends in with the background a little bit right now. Eventually, it's gonna get some treatment to help separate it. So it'll be fine. I'm not worried. Okay, I think that's a nicer color. And I want these to just be a happier, brighter pink. You know, maybe I can steal her hair color. I probably want it to be a little bit different from her hair color, but nope. I think this is a good place to start. Bring him up a little bit more toward white. Yeah, I think that's good. They command a little bit less attention now, which I also think is good. Now then. I want to take a look at what sakura blossoms actually look like. And their branches. Okay, so they are pretty straight, fairly, how would I describe this? They go where they want. They have lots of little buds on them, they go in all sorts of directions. So, as expected, I can kind of do what I want. We'll go ahead and hide the blossoms for now and just try to get some nice branch shapes. Right now it's maybe a bit weird looking. I think I'm gonna kind of have to cheese it because I do not think that I want it to be... Oops. I should get my color before I clear this. But yes, I don't think I want there to be too many straights. And if I make it too straight, then it's not gonna look very good. Just because, I mean, everything about this is so circular and curvy that making it too angular, I think, will just not look very good. So I'm gonna kind of have to fake curves here. While still kind of giving the impression of tree branches. Let me look up one more kind of reference here. Let me see. Basically, what I want to look at is kind of branches as a border, like I'm trying to do here. See what other people did. I always find doing this kind of thing helpful. This is normally something that I would do kind of off stream, but it's like, I'm here right now, so I'm just gonna take a quick look. And if I feel like it's something that I want to study hard, then I will do that and I will draw it on Monday. Okay, yeah, that might be something I have to do. Just... I need some time to stare. So let's see if I can go back far enough that I can put what I had back for now. And we'll just leave it there for now. Okay. I guess I will work on the hand and the fan then. I'll start with the hand. I actually think that this side of it is looking pretty alright. It's mostly hidden, so... I just kind of want to give the vague impression of fingers. Anyway, the reason that I kind of want to look up references and what to do for here is, frankly, I don't know how I want it to look right now. I'm not sure. So I'm just kind of looking up some ideas, seeing what's out there, and then coming up with my own interpretation that I like. I'll probably end up looking at stained glass and tarot decks again, because that's what inspired like 90% of this particular style. And that's just something that kind of happens anytime I start trying to develop a new style. I take a look at both the world itself and what's out there, and how other people have interpreted the world. In other words, what people have drawn. And I feel like through both of those things, I can generally come up with something pretty cool. So I just need a little bit more time to think about it. I did not think about it hard enough before stream today. That's fine. I was kinda focused on what I was gonna do with her hair. Because that was my plan for today, just get the hair right, and turns out it actually wasn't that hard. I thought I'd be flailing a lot more at that. But I was prepared. I took a look at how this is typically dealt with an anime style, to kind of compensate for how my brain keeps getting stuck in semi-realism. I don't like that bend, actually. I was trying to bend her finger, but I changed my mind. I'm trying to think about how I hold fans. And my fingers are indeed quite straight for it. Okay, I'm gonna need more colors. Because I need to be able to see where the sides of her fingers are. I'm gonna use this for the sides. I'm pretty sure this is the only one that's relevant. The rest is just there enough that I'll be able to make sense of what's going on. But yes, I took a look at just various screenshots from anime, how people have drawn it before. Probably looked for like 200 images or so, and picked out the parts that I thought looked best, and found it kind of wild on just how the hair was able to just do what it wants, and it looked fantastic. So I just kind of stopped worrying about it, and I was like, okay, well, we'll stop worrying about it. It'll be fine. I can believe. And here, I'm just using my own hand as a reference. Just getting an idea of where all these fingers should go. And what her palm looks like and all that. That's why I said I needed another color, because I was focusing on the structure of her hand here. Honestly, I'm kind of worried I drew it too small, just looking at it relative to her face. With the kind of extreme perspective I have here, I think this might actually be too small. But it's fine. I'll worry about proportion after I kind of figure out the proportion with itself. Alright, let's get that thumb. So kind of see the side of her thumb here. She's not wearing gloves or anything, right? No, it looks like just hands. A lot of the time they're covered by her sleeves, but that's fine. Yeah, it looks like just normal hands. So I'm gonna go ahead and give her some nails. So that tends to help me figure out the structure too. I'm gonna make them pink. I think she will look cute with pink fingernails. And like I said, I'm pretty sure that this index finger is going to be really the only one with any relevance. But I'll go ahead and just put a few indications here. Just in case. And then a nice one for her thumb here. There we go. And that should help me attach her thumb to her palm. So kinda... Let me see, is this the correct angle? I think it is. Let me turn her fan back on. Yeah, that looks alright. Alright, let me pretend my pen is a fan again. That's how I'm kind of referencing my own hand. Which means it's gonna be 50-50 whether or not I draw it backwards. I do that a lot. Between the dyslexia and the referencing of my own hand, I do indeed draw my hands backwards all the time. But no, I think I got it the right way this time. The biggest problem I have is that when I use my hand as a reference, I have a harder time hitting all of my hotkeys. I'm gonna go ahead and erase the bottom of the fan here. I will figure out exactly where she's holding it in just a sec. Right now, I just want to attach this thumb to her hand. There's like... The meaty part is... kind of off on this side. And then this kind of comes up here. And then we have the meaty part kind of doing this kind of thing. The distinction between thumb and hand is about to get thin here, so... Okay, I can always move the layers around as I need. This might also be where I just look up some reference to kind of help me out. Okay, let's try to get this into her hand. Okay, looks like it's in her hand now, and I can just liquefy again to push it around the way I would like. Make it nice. Right now it's still extremely rough, so I can do what I want. This is where you focus on structure first. And then you worry about making it look nice. Because once everything is structurally sound, then you can just kind of zoom in and be dead to the world. And it's fantastic. If you've ever watched my speed paints, you can kind of see that I do that. I spend like 90% of the time just zoomed out. And then at the end, things get real. And I zoom into like 200% and I just stay there. Because I already know that everything is fine. Everything looks great. I do not have to zoom out and check. So I just kind of hang there. And all is well. Okay, so I think that kind of shape looks good. Not happy with the hand though, so let me... A couple reference. Holding a fan. Oh man, you're doing it in a fancy way. Let me see if I can find one that holds it in the way that I want it to and in the direction that I want it to. Everybody has their palm fingers facing toward the camera here, so I can't see how their thumb looks. This might be another one where I kind of have to look it up at some point. Spend a little bit more time finding some references off stream. Because I don't think I have it quite right. Yeah, I think I'll do that. Okay, so find more references for hands off stream. Maybe take a picture of myself if I cannot find it. Because I can always take a picture of my own hand. Or maybe what I really want to do is just work on her face a little bit. It's true. I do. So I suppose I will. Let's just go ahead and get her eyes looking very cute. Where are my layers? Oh, I got teleported to the bottom again. Okay. Alright. So I am already happy with the colors and the general shape of things. I don't know about the colors of the eyebrows yet. I'm gonna worry about that later. So I will get the shape of that, but I am not gonna worry about coloring. Because at some point, I'm gonna go back through all this and do a bunch of color experiments and figure out what kind of colors and shapes makes this style look fantastic. I have been looking at stained glass and tarot card imagery for a while, so I think I'll be able to make that look good. And so I want to capture the shape of her eyes first and foremost here, and in my opinion, Yuyuko always looks like she's kind of sleepy. Granted, Zun tends to draw his eyes in kind of all the same way, but looking at her from some of the other materials, where they get some different artists to work on things, he tends to look a little bit sleepy. So I kind of want to go for that. Where I have kind of a thicker upper lash here. And I'll have it taper down here a little bit more. And it'll be kind of square. That's the best way I can describe the way her sprites look in the fighting games. They're big and a little bit square. A round square. No sharp edges. Very, very round, but nonetheless a little bit square. And I think I might actually have the kind of outer apex, I think that's the term for it, of her eye a little bit too low. So I'll bring it up a little. Sometimes I rotate the canvas here, but I don't think it's necessary right now, so I'm not going to. It makes for a better speed paint if I don't. Just because if I'm there moving the canvas around all the time and all that, it'll make you motion sick. Because when you zoom it up, or speed it up to like 5,000%, somewhere between 5,000 and 10,000% tends to be where I speed things up. It's like, even just a little bit of zooming in and out, oh man, it'll get to you, trust me. So if I don't have to zoom in and out, I don't. Alright, now I kind of want to round this out here, give her a nice, cute little eyelash. I like doing that at the end, it makes them look happy. Hers I might make a little bit softer than usual, though. Normally I keep it extremely gentle. Or extremely sharp, I should say. But here I'm making it a little bit more gentle than I normally do. Alright, so I'm just gonna sculpt this. I do tend to think about my method as closer to sculpting the pixels than just drawing them. So I'm just gonna quietly sculpt things out here. Take them away, put them back, do whatever it is I gotta do in order to get the shapes I want. I want her lower lash to be fairly thin, and I want it to go up a little bit because I want her to look happy. I want her to look like she's having a great time here. But I still want to keep things pretty boxy. That might be a bit too strong. Now we're starting to get into hide the pain territory. Where you have fake smiles where you're trying to smile so you don't cry. That's kind of where I feel like that's getting. So let me kind of soften that just a touch here. Little bit too exaggerated. I actually don't like it at all. I'm just gonna redraw the whole thing. It's fine. So I kind of want it going across here with just a little bit of an upward turn. I'm gonna put the old one back. Let me just back up as much as I can here. Okay. Yeah, I think I had it about right here. I just want it to be thinner. And I changed my mind. I want this little bit of a square corner here. Like I said, her eyes, at least in Immaterial and Missing Power, looked a little bit square to me. And I do like to reference official materials when I can, because then I kind of get the as close as I can to what her unique eye shape is. And I can kind of interpret it into the way that I like to draw. But I like to get an idea of the kinds of shapes used. And I'm just gonna make this super thin. I actually think I want the top lash to be a little thicker. I mentioned when I started going through here that I wanted the top lash to be a bit thick to make her look a little bit sleepy. And I always spend a lot of extra time on the eyes. You don't mess around when it comes to the eyes. They're like the most important thing. If you have a person in your drawing, the eyes are the most important thing. Unless they're covered. Like sunglasses or ominous anime, ominous eyes, that kind of thing. They are the most important, so I don't mess around. If they are even slightly different from what I envision, I go through and I work it until it is correct. Always. Because they are that important. I do want it to taper nicely down there, though. I think that'll look okay. How are we doing? Themes, all right. I will zoom out once I get her lower lash. The way that I want it to be. Oh, don't worry, even though this seems slow, I do tend to... Well, no, rendering is just slow. It is. It's true. But, the eyes do tend to be the point that I take my time the most on. Yeah, I think this looks like it'll make for a nice little gentle smile. Nice and thin at the bottom there. Okay, let's take a look at this. Her eyes are quite large, aren't they? I think they're still a little bit too big. Let me make sure that they're sitting on her face well. Okay, there we go. Maybe. Okay, I might have to move them around a sec, but that's pretty normal. Even after I start cleaning them. Some things I only see correctly after they're a little bit cleaner. I'm just gonna move these guys around a bit until I am satisfied. I might need to adjust her hair and head accordingly, but... yeah, okay, I think that's a little bit better. Let me move her hair just a touch here. Get some of these things in the right spot. I still want her bangs to be in about the same place relative to where I put her eyes. So, because they moved a little bit, I need to move them a little bit too. I'm not sure if I like her front bang being that much in her face. Let me see, what did it look like before? Here versus here. Okay. I'm gonna do a bit of a hard move here. I just want this over here, and Liquify is having a hard time getting it to that spot, so I need to just do it manually. And then I can liquefy the rest of it into place. Okay. And don't worry, all these loose strands and stuff I can get back later. It's fine. It's totally fine. I'm just drawing the stuff that I kind of had to erase back in there, and this honestly looks more like her than it did before. So, that's nice. Jawline is wrong again, though. As tends to happen when I change things like that. I just always kind of worry about doing stuff like this because it's like, okay, I just moved things around because something was kind of disproportionate and I didn't like it. But if I make her jaw smaller, isn't that just going to make her eyes seem large again? So, I feel like it's kind of a catch-22 there. Where something seems off about the proportions. Oh, I will fix it. But wait, now I just mess with the proportions everywhere else. Isn't that gonna make them look wrong? And I do kind of get into a death spiral like that sometimes. It's really unfortunate. And can be a bit obnoxious, honestly. Because yes, it does happen. That kind of thing absolutely happens. This is why I don't tend to go strongly into rendering until I'm sure that I like it. Anyway, I don't think I'm gonna draw all of her eyelashes and stuff and do a bunch of the stylistic stuff that I have planned. I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to adjust her jaw until I'm happy with it. And then I will see how I feel about it tomorrow. Or Monday, rather, because tomorrow is Ender Lilies. And if I am happy, yay! I can start really getting into making everything just right and finishing it off. If I do not like it, then I haven't spent too much time and I can fix it without feeling bad. And I will not have wasted a bunch of time today that I could have spent refining other parts of the picture. So that's the goal there. That is the goal. Just do what I can. And otherwise, don't worry about it. And definitely don't go too deep into things while I'm still changing things this often. Because things are still moving around quite a lot. I mean, you can see me here turning off the hair so I can adjust the jawline nicely. Which is also why I have not smoothed it out and rendered it hard. Just the bare minimum so I can understand. Let's put a little bit under her hat and stuff. Honestly, it might be nice to put a few shadows under her hair, too. Let me make sure the layer is locked so I don't just expand her head on accident. Okay. I'll leave it there for now. Is our jaw over here still okay? I don't know. I don't want to find out, so we're gonna do whatever I want with the hair again. I'm gonna erase a little bit here, so that this way I can get away with drawing a little bit more over here and have it look nice. I don't want to mess with it and figure it out. I just don't. It's fine. It's fine like this. I can make that shape better. Something like that. Something like that. There we go. Okay. For the moment, her jaw isn't freaking me out, so... probably means I have something going there. I'm not sure about over here, though. Let me take another look at the hair that I have going over there, because with things moved around, it might mean that I need to move some of this hair around, too. Okay, there we go. That's right. I should make sure that I have... if I adjust the size of the head, I should make sure that I have more hair selected too, so they all get moved together. I just thought her head looked a little bit big again. With all the little adjustments that I've been making. Well, maybe not, actually. You know what? I'm gonna put it back and just move her head more where I think it should be. Okay, no, it is a little bit big. Definitely a little. I think I just changed it a little bit too much there. And you can see this is why I don't want to add too many details, because I'm still moving things around a bit. And if I move things around a lot, it's gonna blur the edges of my lines here, and I'm gonna have to go back and kind of fix them up again. So I don't want to do any more than necessary until I am 100% confident that this is how things are gonna look. It's okay. Honestly, rendering the head, or the face especially, tends to be one of those things that helps me feel confident that I have everything right. So it is one of the things I am willing to do a little bit early. Sometimes, perhaps, even earlier than I should, maybe. Alright, now just gotta give the same treatment to this eye. Make it all nice and smooth. And I still want that small bump there, but I don't want it to be, like, super prominent or anything. Tried that in the other one, and it just made me think that she was trying to avoid crying. Smiling so that she wouldn't cry instead. And no, I want her to look actually happy. Not like she's trying very hard to hide the pain. So I don't want it to be too exaggerated. I just want it to come up just a touch there. There we go. I think that looks cute. I think that looks cute. I'm gonna look at my other eye too, just to make sure that they kind of mirror each other. Just to make sure they kind of match. I don't want to draw two different eyes here. I want them to look a about the same. I mean, it's true that in real life, people's faces are often not perfectly symmetrical. But faces in drawings are just cuter when they are more symmetrical. So I try to get it there. I do my best. I do my best. I think this is looking pretty good. I'll have to think about what kind of things I want to do for her eyeballs here, the irises. Or the black part of the eye, depending on who you ask. I think the white part of the eye I can just keep really simple. Probably just give it a simple shadow and call it good. I might put a few extra details on it depending on my mood. Just because I do find outlining shadows and stuff for the particular style that I have in mind is actually pretty effective. I realized that this part still looked a little bit blurry. There we go. There we go. Now I just do the same thing on this side. Yeah, I think you can see how square a shape I had in mind here a little bit more clearly on this side. Where the eye is a little bit smaller and the details are easier to pick out in that regard. Just my feet. Ah, there we go. I just want to get this corner nice and thin. Make it just a touch rounder right here. There we go. Looking over here, making sure that the thickness kind of matches. It's like I said, I don't mess around when it comes to the eyes. I will keep doing them until they look right. They are too important to just leave half done. And I want here to be just slightly pointier. Just a little. It got a little bit too round there. The balance can be hard to strike, but I will find it, because I will search until the answer is here. And I will never give up. I always win in the end when it comes to my art. Always, every time. Alright, how do they look? Yeah, I think they look reasonably symmetrical. Let me turn her hair on. See how much of the rest I care about. Yep, seems good. Alright, we ignore hair again for a little bit. I need to fill in the eye whites properly. And to do that, I turn them black because they're easier to see. If you ever wonder why my characters look possessed in some of my shorts thumbnails, it's like, yeah, this is it. I need to be able to see what I'm doing. So, I just change the color to a color that I can see more clearly, and it has very amusing results sometimes. Like here. This kind of thing does not suit Yuyuko at all. but it must be done in order to get things into a good state. It's fine, don't worry about it. It'll get better. I'm even gonna hide the eyeballs here just to make sure everything is filled in nicely. Now her eyes are even more empty. It's even more cursed. It's even more cursed. Oh man. That seriously is just super cursed. Holy hell. Oh no, not cage, liquefy. I want to make this a little bit shorter. This is where drawing certain things around can make you realize you messed up the proportions a little bit. And I will just leave the edge of her sclera here hard. That suits what I'm trying to draw just fine. Just trying to make it round and nice. Oh, no wonder. I'm at 133%. No wonder I hate everything. For whatever reason, in Krita, since a particular update, oh man, it's probably like a year ago, being zoomed in at certain points just makes everything look terrible. And 133% is one of them. So I always make a point of, you know, pick 100% or 200%, not the one in the middle. Huh. Do I have a part of the head that's not filled in back here? Sure do. Wait, why did it take me back to eye white? Okay, maybe I don't. Maybe it's, Oh, what is that? There's like a little blue spot right there. Okay, I guess it's just some leftovers from the eye white. Okay. No problem. I'll get rid of that. Okay, and I think they're ready to be inverted again. So... not sure if this is less cursed, but here we are. No, I don't want to go in the circle. I would like to be where I was. Why are you panicking, Krita? I probably need to update it. Man, did I pick a blue that bright? I don't think I want that color. I'm gonna take the pink I used for her eyes, and I'm just gonna make it white. That will be my shadow color, maybe just a little bit more toward purple. Yeah. Now that looks better. That looks much better. I'm just gonna put a shadow on the top here and a little bit on the side, because I like doing that. I think it looks nice. And I probably shouldn't be worried about getting it as perfect as I am, but here we are. It'll make it easier to see. It's fine. I'll get a little bit more on the side here. Just due to the angle of the eye, I think that kind of thing looks nice as well. Okay, and now I can put her eyeballs back on. I think this one is sized well, this one's a little bit too big. So I will go ahead and properly render this one, which is I make the circle a little bit bigger than what I currently have, and I click. And then it's all good. And all is well. This one I felt like was a little bit big. So I will go ahead and make it just a little bit smaller until I feel like it's matching this one. And then I will do the same thing. I will make the circle a little bit bigger than what I had before. And click. Okay, how are we looking? Let me turn her hair back on. Okay, now I think this one is a little bit large. Nope, even that is a little bit too much. It really is just a little bit too big. And now I want to make sure she is still looking at the viewer. That's very important to me. It's probably gonna look a little bit off until I give her pupils. That's fine. I'll get it started. And you know what? Let's just give her some pupils. Let's give her some. Okay, I already have her eye color selected, so I'm gonna move a bit more toward purple and then down into kind of the black range. And here, I think I will make them... Is this a good size? Maybe a little bit smaller. She is gonna look so freaked out for a second. Don't worry about it. It'll be okay. She is gonna be panicking. It'll look better once I put the shadows on her eyes. Yeah, there we go. Let's go ahead and put some shadows on there, so this way she doesn't look like she's panicking. I am not sure if this is how I will want it to look at the end. But frankly, looking at that expression there for too long will make me hate life. So I'm gonna do something to fix it for now. Yeah, I think this color's okay. But I don't want to spend too long on it. And honestly, that pupil color might just be a little bit too black for how I have everything else. Okay, that is fine for now. Normally that's about as black as I make the pupil, but I don't know, everything here is super duper pastel, so it might just be that I cannot do that. And you know what? That's okay. I am fine with using different colors when appropriate. Yeah, let's just make it nice and purple. That's still pretty dark. And I think it looks pupil-like, but it looks much better than what I had before, so... She still looks a little bit freaked out, though. Let's go ahead and add a specular highlight. Again, not sure if this is the color I'm going to use at the end, but I think it's fine to just use a placeholder. I'm also not sure if this is the shape I want to use, but you know, it's fine for now. It does make her look a little bit less freaked out. Okay, I will call that good for now. At the very least, it doesn't make me severely concerned while I'm looking at it. Which means it is perfect as a placeholder. Alright, so this is the part where, now that the eyes are, you know, in a better spot, that I'm like, do I have everything else drawn well? Is everything else where I want it? Answer... I don't know. There are some parts that just don't look quite right to me. So I think I'm about to make her head a lot smaller again. It keeps happening. Let me see, can I find the center of her head here? It's doing something kind of like this, and then we have a nose. And then the center of her mouth is probably going to be, like, here, and it does this kind of thing. God, I'm so bad at picturing three-dimensional space. But, okay. This tells me it's close. And I probably don't have to be worrying quite as much as I am, but look, it's the face. You gotta worry about the face, okay? Okay, yeah, that's looking pretty cute. Let me adjust this corner just a touch. I'm debating on whether or not this corner needs to be higher or this corner needs to be lower. I am not sure what the answer is. Let me lower this one just a little bit. Okay. Yeah, I think that's good. And now the chin is big again. So I will adjust that. Like I said, it keeps happening. I fix one thing, and then I feel like something else is disproportionate, and I fix that, and then the thing I fixed is now disproportionate again, and I have to fix it, and it just goes into this terrible, terrible death spiral. And it can be pretty hard for me to get out of. That's why I just have to get better at finding the structure in the head. But that is easier said than done. But it is what I'm practicing, and I will keep practicing until I finally get it. If it's one thing I can do, it's beat my head against the wall until I understand. I am good at that. There are times it has perhaps not served me well, but I think times like this is where that skill really shines. Because I can just go until all is well. And this is like an ear, so I can kind of kill it. Oh. And then I also have the top of the neck there. Oh, whoops. I grabbed the wrong layer. There we go. No, not that. The head. There we go. I guess I should get the back hair too. And the veil. Get her head back on her shoulders here. The neck is super thick. It's not right at all. You know what? I'm actually gonna fix that now. I was gonna say, you know, I'll fix that at some point, but you know what? Now seems like a fantastic time. Let's get her head onto her shoulders. Let's do it. I feel like it should be coming out from over here, though. So maybe it's just the point by her chin that I think has to be made thinner. Or maybe I do it like this and have this kind of shape. Or maybe what I should do is pick a slightly different color for her skin. Get it more into those purples again. So I'm enjoying those purples. I think they look pretty fantastic. Okay. Let's see how this color does. So at this point, her body is basically just her neck. So I can pretty safely change this color to whatever I want it to be. And if I happen to see more parts of her body's skin elsewhere, you know, I can just get rid of it. Because it is not relevant. Her body is largely defined by her clothes here. And everything else is just, you know, her neck. And the very top part of her chest. So I'm gonna kind of feel this out here. And hopefully I will be able to attach it now. I'm gonna take another look at some references that I picked up here. And see if I can figure out how her neck should be attached at this angle. Let me see. So if I go ahead and let's see, I'm gonna lower the opacity of her head again. Gonna do that and see if this helps me. Where is my body layer? Here we are. Okay, so we have this color, and you know what? This color's fine. It's not necessarily the right one, but I think it's okay. Where should her head be connecting here? I'm gonna... Where does the neck connect to the head? So at the angle it's at, I think it should be about here. And it should be a fairly thin circle. No, it's not about there. It's a little bit further to the right. It connects like in the center of her head. Which, I mean, it technically would be actually be over here, so maybe it's there? And it's just craned in such a way. That makes sense. You know what, I'm gonna follow this thought, see what happens. So I can do what I want here. Because this layer is never gonna show, so her head is doing something like this. Where we got a nose here, and it comes down here, and then she's got a chin. Not quite in the right spot. I'll fix that momentarily. So yeah, maybe the neck connects like right there? Somewhere around here? No, that doesn't seem right. This seems okay, though. Oh, what, do I connect it like that? That doesn't seem right either, though. Let me just clear everything. I mean, it does seem like the neck is, their next step is probably like right here. It's connected like right there. Which should make it do something like this, I think. Let me turn her head back on and see if that got me any closer, but that just seems completely wrong. Is it because I have her head connected at a bad spot? Or am I just misunderstanding the angle completely? Okay. Well, I tried a structural approach. Time to go with a let's just feel it out approach. This is why I say this is what I need to practice. Because it is absolutely what I need to practice. And I'm gonna invert the color. The fact that I need to is concerning, but I think I will be able to do something to separate her neck from the background once I start shading all this proper. But for now, I'll just invert the colors and go from there. I guess that seems alright. Okay, and I guess I moved some stuff around. Well, this was on a separate layer. Or without properly grabbing that, so I need to go put the back hair back in. That will also help separate that from the background, which is actually very convenient for me. So what, do I have her jaw wrong? Does it need to be more like this? No, that doesn't look right. I don't know, I feel like I have the shape of her head looking right. Let me hide her hair again. I mean, then again, maybe not. Let's get rid of the ear here and just focus on the shape of her head again. I will use this color. I just always get minorly disgruntled with myself because I'm like, I feel like for what I'm able to draw, I should know how to do something as basic as attach her head to her neck easily. But it just never works out that way. I always flail for a while before I get it right. I don't know why I find it so hard, but I do. I really do. And this is where I don't necessarily look for advice. I just, am complaining. Because, I mean, I'll figure it out. Don't worry. I need to find a way that works with how my brain functions, because every piece of advice that I have seen on trying to draw structurally just has not worked for me. So I can guarantee that pretty much whatever you tell me is probably something I've already heard. But, nonetheless, it is something I need to figure out. And I get the feeling part of it is some disconnect from how I stylize things versus how I initially learned how to draw. And that's probably causing me some trouble. that has been the trouble that I've had with many things, honestly. Like when I was talking about making the hair flutter earlier, on how I was keeping it too realistic and sensible. When really what I needed to do in order to make it look good was let it be free and do what it wants, even if it doesn't make sense. And so I get the feeling that there's something in the way I draw that is still just a fundamental disconnect between how I draw now and how I learned. But I will find it. I have been practicing as much as I can, and honestly, I'm starting to wonder if I should stop doing any kind of photo studies. Because I feel like I can understand reference well. But maybe what I need to do is stylization studies. I don't know. But I will figure it out. That is kind of the nature of artistic growth, so I hope all of you watching here can see me flailing here and just be like, you know, you're probably gonna flail a lot too if you want to learn how to draw or do any kind of creative thing. I can tell you, I'm trying to learn how to write stories better. I've been working on my webcomic, and oh man, is it hard. Because everything I've written up until now has just been like brief character scenes and that kind of thing, but an entire story where I have to wrangle the plot, man, it's overwhelming. So I can tell you that it involves a lot of flailing. But eventually, you figure it out, and I think this looks okay. I actually think it's even mostly connected to her head. Or her neck, rather. Let me just kinda push it down a little more here. What? Did not get all the layers? Did I miscontrol? Oh no, I just hit the hat instead of the head again. That's fine. Head. There. Okay, that looks pretty connected. Pretty proportionate. I probably messed up everything again, but, you know, it's okay. Give it a few more attempts, and maybe I'll eventually get it. It's fine. Actually, it doesn't look too bad. Fortunate. Back hair got disconnected again. But that's at least something that's easy to draw, and I can just kinda mosey it on over. There we go. The veil is just gonna have to be completely redrawn, so I'll erase that for now. And her hat is a little big now. And I guess her hair is a little bit big now too. We'll just tuck that under her hat and not worry about it. Okay, let's get that hat back into place. It does not feel like it's on her head anymore. Get that back onto her head. And I think that should be good. Just kind of pushing it around until I find a spot I like. Okay, and then I will reconnect her other hair. Just don't want it overlapping her hat. There we go. Okay, I think that looks a little bit better. Not 100% sure about her neck yet. Give it a little bit more meat, I suppose. See, this is why I didn't want to render her jawline. I was fine with doing her eyes, because I tend to base so many different things around the eyes, and getting them looking right tends to help me with everything else. It did here. So that I wasn't worried about. Okay, I think that's looking pretty alright. We'll see what the me of tomorrow thinks. I think before I stop for today, I want to adjust the portion on her hair a little bit here. Still let it flutter, of course, but I just wanted to make it a little bit shorter. There we go. Eliminate clipping. Alright, I think I'm getting somewhere. I think this looks really cute. Look at that cute little face. It's starting to look pretty good. So, let's see. Things I want to be able to do soon. I need to look up references on hands and on branches. And I think at that point I'll have everything basically rendered, or basically planned out, and I can go in to start rendering it and start picking colors and making stylistic choices, and that sounds like a good time. I'll probably just finish the entirety of her head first, because that's how I roll. Alright, but I think this is where I will stop for today. So, thank you all for coming. And I hope you're able to make something wonderful today. Flail to your heart's content. It'll work out eventually. Good luck. I'll see you all tomorrow.